It's this concept where they're like, I get that money is energy, but what does it actually mean? How do you teach people, or can you teach people to go from scarcity to abundance? And what does that really mean? Because again, a lot of people don't know. It's like, I'm abundant, and they're showing pictures on Instagram with their Porsche or whatever.
I mean, I think there's abundance as an identity, and I think there is abundance as flow. Abundance as identity is the Porsche. And it can be the Porsche in the driveway, and then you love it, and that's fine. But when you have to show it is when the identity flips in. I mean, it's great. Enjoy wonderful things. Do you buy the Porsche because you walk in the driveway and you're like, wow, and I love driving this? Or is that element of, look what I have? It's nothing right or wrong. It just changes it. This is what I have, is it becomes the block because it has you. You don't have it. It's almost like changing the starting point. So if you're starting from the fear and scarcity and you're going, I need to invest, you've still got that lack energy, then there's a struggle in it. So to be able to help people change the starting place for more of who they are, then you go back into the 3D world, let's say, and then your action step. And your action step might look way different. It probably will look way different than you ever thought it would be. Then you've won. Then you don't need anyone to tell you how to deal with your money anymore. So you're taking yourself outside of the time and effort, and you're putting yourself more in the momentum of it all.
We get programmed with, oh, you're empty nesters now. Go do all this stuff. It's like, okay. But there's something about that just never felt great, because I actually don't want to not see my kids all the time.
Yeah.
And so my daughter's away at school, understandable, but my boys aren't. And both of them are at the house.
Right. So what changes just because they're a certain age?
I'm like, there's nowhere for you guys to be. If you want to go to college, go do it. If you don't want to go to college, don't do it. If you want to go find a particular job in the workforce, go do that. If you want to create what your own job is and learn about who you are and what you love, and then do that. And, that's where my boys are at right now. So there's no rush for you guys to leave this house. Like, I frankly want you to be here until you feel like you need to leave the nest.
That's so great.
It's just so different. And it's, we've always said, like, you don't have to go to college. You don't have to do but do something.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes the do something is just like not doing anything and really getting quiet about what is moving you. And when there's so much pressure from society to do all these things. Like when we were growing up, like I just was obvious I was going to college. It wasn't my parents pushing me, but I just knew I was going to do that.
Yes.
And kids today, a lot of kids think college is bullshit. And I completely agree with them. I'm like, there's a few reasons why you go, but most of the reasons people say you go are bullshit. I don't think you learn shit at school. I think you learn by living in the world.
Exactly.
It's just, and so.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like I'm backing that up now by validating their current experience, not having them feel any way like they need to be out on their own and doing that. It's like, no, like if you feel like being here and you feel supported in what you're trying to do, great. And if people can think whatever they want, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I know what happens in that house. I know how much trust has been built amongst all of us. And I would argue that anyone who wants to say that they're supposed to be doing something else does not have that same thing in their house. And they're going on old programming, which I understand. I grew up on it. I worked really hard to let go of it. And now it's like the lived experience of this is what it means to actually follow through on what I've been saying for these years. We're not empty nesters, and I don't care if we ever are, to be honest with you. My family, my 3 kids, obviously with my wife as well, they're my favorite people in the world. And so I get to spend my days with them, supporting them and seeing them and getting to know them in new ways. I'll take that over whatever is supposed to happen any day.
Wow. That's really amazing.
Been cool. It's been really liberating to be like, what else what are my other blind spots? What are the other stories I'm believing? And that was one that I was kind of believing still. Like my son's got to get a job, and like they've done that, and it's like, okay, those jobs weren't for them. What's next for you? And it's not necessarily school or a job. There's a third option. Like, what are you looking to learn about?
Mm-hmm.
And we know you learn by doing it. I was a trader for 18 years. I didn't learn that in college. I learned it by getting hired and putting through a training program.
Right.
And then I became a trader. And then I became a better trader because I was trading.
Mm-hmm.
And had some of the skills to be good at it. And then I went on my way. And that's really the only way we learn about ourselves is through that, I think, through that lived experience.
I do too. The self-expression of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be the self-expression. Yeah.
And it helps when the people you look up to the most, mom and dad,
Yes.
whether you realize it or not, they are like, you could have a really resentful relationship, but there's a part of you that really wants your approval. You
Absolutely.
you really want to be seen by them and witnessed and validated. And
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing with our kids is we're showing up in that way, and they're just taking off and opening up. And it's like, oh, that's the key, actually. They just want to be validated. Your partner just wants to be validated.
That's exactly right. And I think most people don't realize that. They just think they want to fix everything,
Especially men.
especially men. Yeah, they do fix it. And that's probably like one of the biggest things. It's like, and it's not a bad thing. You want to help. It's a form of helping,
Yeah.
but then they're not the self-expression of it, and they're not going to learn it. And so it becomes a waste of energy.
Well, and I think you like, you retard the evolution of what someone is going through a
Totally.
challenging period. You come in and you stop it and you rescue them, and they have an open loop. They need to go through the whole, just like we've had to go through the whole thing. And it comes from a good place generally. You want to help your kid, but you're not. You're actually stunting their emotional growth
Right.
by stepping in those times. You can be really close to them and support them. And yeah, you can help out, but I feel like we need to be really discerning about what that help looks like. Am I helping them to make myself feel better that they're no longer in this challenging period of their life? What would that have done for me if people just rescued me all the time? Like, I wouldn't have learned any of what I've learned about myself. I mean, I feel like our journey here on this earth is truly to learn about who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And by questioning the stories and the rules that we live by, we start to realize what is someone else's rules and what is true for me. And that's been why this podcast has been so important. That's such an understatement, but it's been the reason I've been able to let go of a lot of the stories, because I bring people on that question the stories that I've been brought up on, that a lot of people have been brought up on.
Yep.
And it allows them to undo those agreements if they choose to. And the more we do that, the more fall away. And I think we finally hit a point where we're just like, fuck it, I'm going to question everything, because everything I question seems to not be true. So what else is there? And you can go down some rabbit holes and see that there's a lot of shit that's not true that we were told. Holy shit. And it can be a lot for some people. So I don't talk about that much on the podcast, but amongst my friends, we're super curious about it. And we go there. And you're welcome to like tune into what feels true for you. Everyone has their own experience. And I'm just here to fucking learn about all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you look at the stories, the illusions.
That's it.
I know we should talk about that.
Well, let's do it, because that's
huge. I think
it.
that is actually it.
That is what controls our behavior.
Controls
That's
everything.
the unconscious.
Yeah. That's it. And it takes bravery to do that.
It does.
And it takes energy, and people are fucking exhausted.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the reasons. It's not that they don't want to do it. They're fucking exhausted. They can't do it.
Can't.
This like the exhaustion is the lack of access.
In its, you could say it's by design, by keeping everybody working and doing just focus on their work instead of what their art is. And their art doesn't necessarily need to be a painting, but their art is
Right.
their self-expression.
Yes.
And that gets dampened or covered up completely when they believe the story that the most important thing is to make money and some
Right.
people, honestly, right, like they need to gather enough resources to make it every day. And so
Yeah.
they really have no ability to question everything or very little ability. It takes incredible courage to start to question things when you're so reliant on the system of these stories for your existence, or at least you believe that. And I don't know what the secret is for. I can only speak to my experience in going through the questioning and people being like, when's enough? When are you gonna be like happy, satisfied? Like you always seem like you're searching, like you're not I'm content and I'm here to push all the boundaries because when I do that, I find out where my edges are. I find out who I am. And I push the edge. That was a lot. Okay. Maybe but that's my orientation. And if I had been satisfied with where I had got to in my level of awareness 5 years ago and just was like, okay, that's enough pushing. That's not me. I had this conversation with Peyton the other night. And she was just like curious about it. I said, babe, like if I ever stop pushing, like I'm not where I am today. And where I am today, I have so much more clarity than I had a month ago. So like
Right.
what is telling me that stopping is a good idea?
Right.
And I just, and it's hard because we all have a different orientation to life. And that's just, Lindsay would say that's in my chart. And it's just like, it's who I am. And I fully own that. The difference for me today to 5 years ago is I have a lot more discernment around that. And that comes with what we were talking about before we started. And we were talking about boundaries.
Yes.
In boundaries, there's a lot of things I believe that come into boundaries, but discernment is definitely one of them. But something I think you could speak of from your own experience is this how much we value our time and how much we value our resources. And I know that in my experience, when I haven't felt like I've deserved the financial abundance, I've given it away. I've had leaky boundaries. I've invested in things that are just like bullshit things, but I didn't want to miss out. It was like a scarcity thing. Like, if that takes I've been there. I'm not there anymore, but I know that energy very well.
Yes.
And so it's really becomes a boundary. Like my time and my money, they're an expression of me. And when I write a check to an investment that I don't really believe in, there's a part of me that's attached to that. Doesn't mean I'm involved at all, but
that is so good what you just said.
it's there. And so I need to be super discerning with what I say yes to. And when I get clear on who I am, I get super clear on what I want to align with as an investment. I'm no longer worried if this thing has a 20x return, 100, like it has nothing to do with that. It's about, do I believe in this founder? Do I believe in the vision? Do I believe in what they're bringing into the world? Is it benefiting the world in a way that I can really speak to from my heart?
Yeah.
And so it needs to meet this criteria that it didn't have to a year ago. And it's all because I've gotten super clear on who I am, and the scarcity of missing out on, I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care at all about missing anything that could change my life in a big way, because I don't need my life changed in a financial way. It doesn't mean I'm not going to continue to play that game and try to build that little scoreboard, but it's not for anybody else. It's like, oh, okay, like let's see what we can do here. That would be fun to play that game,
Mhm.
but I have no attachment to it except, am I in alignment with what I really care about? Am I supporting with my time and my energy those things and my money? And as you would say, they're all the same. And
Mhm.
people have heard money is energy. I've heard it for a long time. It wasn't until quite recently that I get it. So I understand it, but I
Yeah.
hadn't had a lived experience of what it means.
Oh, that's so good.
That's it,
We should
right?
talk about that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We should talk
So,
about that.
yeah, well, let's go there
All
because
right.
I think for a lot of people, it's this concept where they're like, I get that money is energy, but what the fuck does it actually mean?
Exactly. I think that's the big thing is like let's go beyond the conversation of it just being conceptual. Like it's no good for someone if it's just conceptual. Like how do they really use it? Like you are a perfect example what you just gave. It's like you're energetically behind it. You're so laser like behind it, look focused on it. There's not that subconscious no because the subconscious no is the attachment. So you've stepped beyond that.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. It's the invisible subconscious no that's creating the attachment that's causing them to be frenzied about the result,
Hmm.
which then pushes it away. And
Hmm.
it's all one circle. And you just described that. So conceptually, we can say that, but that's you're living that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You don't have that subconscious no anymore. You did when you used to invest in things, and perhaps you were like, okay, I'm going to invest in this, but I need something back.
it's very transactional.
Transactional, yeah.
And that's where I think it's really changed for me. And it
Hmm.
started to shift maybe 4 years ago. I got involved with a few investments that were like, oh, this feels different. This
Yeah.
founder, I really trust this person. I really love what the why is behind what they're doing.
Hmm.
And I was involved in helping, as much as I could, like grow the business, bring people in, maybe some other investors, and connect them with people within the space. And it occurred to me that I so many of us are outcome based when we get into an investment. Like, okay, this is going to be a 3 year, 5 year, whatever. Like, it's going to be this kind of return. Like, you get real excited about the outcome. And for me, I was like, I'm going to be kind of bummed when this thing has an exit. Doesn't matter what the exit is
Right.
because I enjoy so much of the energy of what's being exchanged here
Yes.
that once the outcome happens, it happens like that and it's over. Yet now it's been 4.5 years that I've been in relationship with this particular investment and it's been amazing. And it hasn't been about the outcome. Now I think the outcome is going to be good, great, but I've enjoyed this whole process. So it's like when we focus on, well, I should say, when I have focused on just the outcome,
Hmm.
I'm so tied to things that I have probably zero control of. I can't,
Oh, of course. We have zero control anyways. We just think we do.
well, which is true, but for people to really think
Yeah.
like, oh, well, it's like, no, there's nothing I can do really materially to help this investment.
Yeah.
And so when I'm just always worried about what's the outcome going to be, I'm completely out of presence with what's happening,
Uh-huh.
what's unfolding with the
Yeah.
experience. And that started me to shift like, oh, okay, I can invest differently. And I got better at it, but not as clear as I am today. And I'm more clear today than I was 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 1 month ago. It just keeps getting sharper. And I think
Yes.
it's been my experience of questioning more things about what I like, who am I? And these stories start to fall away when I
Hmm.
question them because they come up as triggers.
Yep.
And it's funny, yesterday I mentioned this. I really think that triggers when for me, when I've gotten to the point where I see almost all the stories when they come in now, they're no longer triggers. They're like, I call them tickles because they make me laugh. Like, oh my God, you actually think you thought that was true. It's not true.
Oh,
And
that's
that's why you're
great.
having this reaction.
That's great.
Okay, reset and do it a different way. And so I get to laugh at my beautiful mind, how it works and how it was keeping me protected this whole time, or it thought it was. And it's like, we're good now. Like, I know who I am. And thank you for bringing up these triggers or tickles because there's more blind spots that I'm not seeing. And the reaction, the tension, the constriction that I feel is never about what's happening. It's my interpretation of what's happening.
Yep.
And that is being interpreted by a story I've been believing from the age of 3, from the age of 15, whenever there was something that happened that made me feel like I don't want that to happen again because that was painful. And so how do I try to make sense of the world going forward and not step on any of those landmines?
Yeah.
And that's when people that are, you can tell they're so in their head. I feel so much from them. I've been in my head before, absolutely. And I've seen people that are a little further in their head and like they have, it's so energy. There's so much energy expended in trying to navigate every permutation of what could happen today going forward. It's like, holy fuck. And you just talked about, I don't know, I may fly back home. I may stick around here. Those people can't access that. So when I hear you say, I'm just going to go with the flow, like when I leave here, I'm just going to trust that I'm going to end up exactly where I need to be. And how fun is that? We were like, I'm here for this. What's this adventure going to be today?
Yeah.
And it could just be for the next couple hours. But when you're open to that, like you are, just that's where the magic is.
It is. It is. And it makes everything light because I don't have to worry about anything because it's all going to work out.
It does.
It all works out.
It always has.
It always has. Yes.
Just not like how you think, which is like, of course, because I'm a dumbass and I don't really know all the cool shit that can happen. But it's like, that's what you find out. That's where the magic is. You get to be surprised, meet people, have these encounters with random strangers at a 7-Eleven because you're no longer thinking about all the things you need to do to get to the airport and do this and what's going on tomorrow. And I've got this thing on Monday and should I? You're just there, and all of a sudden you meet people that are present that you would have never talked to before because they don't look like you. The guy looks like he's maybe homeless or whatever, but when they recognize that you're there with them, they reach out as a little test. And if you ignore them, they see good. But if you are there with them, I've had some incredible conversations with people quite recently because I was just open and they saw it and it fucking blew my mind. The wisdom, the guy working at the airport, the like janitor, like in the hallways, the wisdom he shared with me, it's like out of a fucking movie. They're all around us, but we put him in a box. He's a janitor. He doesn't have like whatever the story is. This fucking guy was so on point talking about stuff that I don't think some people I know would understand. He was just listening and watching his entire life and paying attention. He fucking knew people. It was wild. It's like, okay, there's a story. I was open, present. Now I can let go of the fact that the guy who's the janitor at the airport is uneducated and not interesting. This guy was as interesting a person as I've talked to in a long time. And he was a young guy who was working at an airport as a janitor. Yeah.
Says a lot about you, Kevin.
It's just presence. When you're present,
it's openness.
Anybody would do that. But for so long, I wasn't. And I would not look at that guy because I was doing my own thing. He's not like interesting enough.
Right.
But now that I'm present and open, I'm listening. I'm paying attention. Like, that guy's got some fucking codes, I feel like. And he was making some comment about some person that was what he was literally. There was a guy filling up his water bottle. He was on the other side of him. I was getting ready to fill up mine. And he talked about this person that was walking through the airport. And it was a very interesting looking person. And it was like, without getting into the details, and I could just barely hear what he was saying. I was like, I saw that fucking person too. I was like, I didn't look right at him, but I saw him out of the kind of looks like somebody famous.
Is it Billie Eilish with a hoodie on?
But it was like, it was a whole look that stood out, and the person was pretty tall. So they were like, you could see them. And I kind of just gave the most subtle little smirk. Like I just fucking knew what he was talking about, but I wasn't looking at him. And he's like, he knows what I'm talking about. And I'm like,
That's so
I go,
great.
bro, I saw that. I said, I wouldn't make eye contact, but I saw exactly what you're saying. And then we just started to talk about people and people that feel the need to be different. And he talked about his son's friends who are getting really curious about some of the stuff that's, well, they're curious about their gender. And he's like, three of his friends are like trans or transitioning or whatever. He's like, he goes, it doesn't make any sense from what, how I know these kids.
Mm.
And, um, he shared a lot of other things that don't need to be discussed here, but he had such a grounded vision. He would talk about it very matter of factly, and it was very well reasoned. He wasn't judging any of them. He goes, I feel bad that they feel that they don't feel comfortable enough in their own skin.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, something's going on where these kids, you know, from the best that he could tell, really aren't on that path, but for some reason they found themselves on that path and they're a
Right.
little bit like, oh, fuck, what do we do now?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like he had a very, yeah, just a very grounded understanding that a lot of my friends, I don't know, see it that way. I think if they heard him, they'd be like, ah, that actually makes a lot of sense. He
Mm-hmm.
came in with like some real, what I think is real wisdom around a topic that people like. I mean, I don't even love talking about it on here because it's like, it's the whole thing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand it. So I don't really want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, but it's the thing. And
It's
so
the thing.
this guy shared some codes. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot more compassion for everyone involved, the parents, whether
Right.
they're pushing it or not.
Right.
The fact that they're pushing it on their kid that maybe doesn't want to, like, what has gone on in their life that makes them think that this is the right path, like putting their shit on. Ugh, it
Yeah.
becomes a whole rabbit hole
Yeah.
of everyone's doing the best they can and they think they're doing the best they can, but it's they're so wrapped up in a different story or many stories.
Yeah. I think you hit it. Everybody's doing the best they can.
Uh,
And we just have to be good with that, you know? Wow. So great.
so
So
you had a
great.
big change in your life.
Oh, huge.
You were on the path, and you were on a path that a lot of us get on,
Yeah.
and it's fun, it's great until you realize that it's not it.
Yeah, that's right.
What was your kind of awakening to that? What was that? What did that feel like?
To making, you're talking about the big transition in my life from like career wise.
Yeah,
You're
like
talking
just like, for me, I was a trader, I was doing the
mm-hmm.
thing, and it's like, okay, this isn't it. Like I was great at trading, and then for the last couple of years, I completely fell out of love with it. I just didn't realize I needed to be doing something else that wasn't fulfilling me anymore. And then,
Yeah.
that was in 2013. In 2017, I was in Las Vegas at the mass shooting. That was like the big awakening. Like, oh, that path is important to go down of trying to make money and build wealth and to sure. And at a certain point, it's time to open up the other game, not stop playing the first game, but play it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what am I really here to do? Like, what's my life's work? Like, who am I
Mm-hmm.
beyond the thing that I do or been known for so long that has
Mm-hmm.
created wealth and influence and all those things that are great. And when we don't know who we are, they can lead us in some areas of real insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
was, like a bit of my like, okay. And then for the last 8 years, I'm like, okay, who am I? It's been
Mm-hmm.
the question. What are my blind spots? What am I meant to unlearn? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm curious to, yeah, hear more about like what that journey was like through
Yeah.
that fun, like making money and,
Yeah.
being a baller
Yes.
into that's the way I've been doing it is maybe not the way I want to do it going forward.
And I love that you understand that too, because it's hard to kind of even explain, like when you're even at that level as a trader, which is not easy to get to,
No.
you know, you have to have a certain mind, you have to have a certain resolve You have to have a certain, like, leaving yourself on the side of the road because the job
Mhm.
is the job, right? Like
Mhm.
12 hours a day. There's no desk, there's no hiding. You're all there together, you
Yeah.
know? And it's an energy about it and it's yelling and it's the whole deal. And it is exciting until one day I'm like, I can't have one more conversation in one glass walled office and act like I'm interested anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could have. I mean, I could have bounced that basketball the whole time.
Yeah.
I could have kept going with it, you know? But I knew that there was a part of me that it was gonna have to die if I kept that going. So I just had to buy my way out of it. I just had to use investing and just buy my way out because I didn't want to go down. I'd already done the backpacking thing with no money. I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, how can I cover my cost of living with investing so that when I step out, I really don't notice that much of a difference. And so that's what I did. And, but even then, I remember sending that email because I had like, they call it like an indirect line to the CEO. So I wasn't like, one of like the direct, I was like, I had this sort of specialized job. And so I
Mhm.
reported to who was under him and to him,
Mhm.
which in itself, I was like, oh my God, how did I end up in a situation where I'm reporting to two people who one of them loves to scream and yell, right?
Yes, the
Uh,
tyrant.
oh my God, the tyrant, yes. And that's not his fault. I knew that he just always had led with fear.
Yeah.
And people used to tell me, they're like, "You're not afraid of him?" I'm like, "No, I'm not afraid of him. I don't even think I'd be where I am if I was afraid of his ass. I'm not. He's going to get red in the face and he's going to scream at me. And I'm going to walk out and I'm going to do my job." Right. Like just it. But at the same time, I was like, I was aware of the energy that I was in,
Uh-huh.
so it wasn't like a fault thing. But, anyways, I was like, I had to send that email and it was like, okay, I am literally changing my life, with this. But it was so freeing. I remember driving down the street and just like roll the windows down in my truck and I'm just screaming when I left there. And I had no idea what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I had no idea I was going to end up building this business the way that I've built it. It chose me.
Mm.
But I think trading chose me too,
Mhm.
honestly. My degree is in microbiology. I went to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo in California, and
Yeah.
I was going to be a doctor. And
Okay.
then I took a hairpin turn and went into finance. And, um, it found me because it was uncanny how I didn't even go into the company. I went in like as a software programmer, because I was really good at math. And how did I end up in a year and a half on the trading floor? It was like, I think this really isn't me. I don't feel like I mean, it is me, but I'm shedding layers of me. Like I was into triathlons then, and I was really into trading, and that was like the whole challenge of my life. And I built a real estate business, and I was into that, and like now I look at my life, and I'm like, wow, I'm like going across Tasmania in a camper van with one of my best friends, and I'm just kind of running this business, but I don't even feel like I'm running it. Like I have amazing people that work for me. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know if I'd keep this together if it wasn't for the incredible people who've worked with me for years. Like I have my business as a family,
Mhm.
and the people that I meet, they become a family. I become deeply connected to people, and then the other people kind of just, and it's a frequency, is what I've discovered.
Mhm.
And if you can let yourself go, then the universe is going to keep that frequency of people in there for you. And it's like the janitor thing. They don't look like you. They don't maybe even have the same background. But once I give up deciding that, then it's like we're all rising together too, because I begin to love them, like in the way that like their their well-being becomes my well-being.
Mhm.
Like you feel like a deep kinship for them, and then they become your story. They become in your mind, and then you think of them, and there's a positive energy that goes out, and there's oh, this person could meet this person, maybe they would get, you know what I'm saying, like it becomes effortless. And then the money's just the fringe. The money is going to come in because money is an invite. And it just happens over and over and over again. And that's really all I'm doing. I'm managing my energy and I'm letting go over and over. And it's challenging too. So I don't want to paint a picture that is just like some fluffy, airy fairy. I don't ride rainbows all day either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't. I've got a shitload of childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I would go through that at some point. And I'm 51 now, and it started a couple of years ago, and I'm still going through it. But the less I separate the going through that from the amazingness, the once I see that they're all one, it again goes back into it's just life.
It's interesting when I think about those things that happened in my childhood, right? Whether big capital T trauma or lowercase, whatever, trauma's trauma. I interpreted that experience a particular way. And out of that, I adapted to get what I needed, right?
And it's been a superpower, actually.
Exactly.
And that's what I don't think people talk about that.
They don't.
It's actually been more of a superpower than it has been a detriment.
Yes.
Because I am fiercely independent in a way that most people, especially women, they're not. And I worked with all men, and it was like they would be like, God, we actually don't have to change the conversation when you're in the room.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Not that I could have the exact same, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not like they didn't have to like
you fucking get like you're, yeah.
And it's like, no, they could say what they wanted to say. I'm not going to be fucking phased. I'm not going to, whatever,
Yeah.
It's just the childhood stuff allowed me to exist in the environment that I needed to exist in, and it allowed me to trust people and to be open to people in a way that I don't think I would have had I been so sheltered.
Mm-hmm. And what I found, the key to kind of like closing the loop is to go back to the point of trauma and literally rewrite the story, because when it happened, my 7-year-old, 8-year-old self created a story around why that happened. And out of that story came these superpowers. I love that you use that word. That's what I say. These are my superpowers.
Yeah.
And now that I have an awareness of that in deep, deep gratitude for those superpowers, I can go back and really write any story I want, because the one I was believing was through the eyes of a 7 or 8-year-old. Okay, I'm 53 now.
Yeah.
So I can go back and write any story I want because it's just as much true as what it was for me. I'm 7 or 8. So if I go back and rewrite it in a positive way, maybe it was something that happened with my dad. What I found is it completely changes our relationship today. I don't carry this about my dad, but thanks for the superpowers. It's like,
yes,
I see you. You did exactly what you needed to do. It was literally the best you had to do. And now that I'm 53, I see all that in a different way. I see that you were present in ways that I can't believe you sacrificed that way. But my story as a 7 or 8-year-old, or when I looked back on it before I really understood it, was like, he wasn't really around like I wanted him to be. It's like he was like, he gave up so much for me.
Yes.
That's a different story than he didn't love me enough.
Right.
And so in my experience, that work is the key, because within that, like you, one of my superpowers is resiliency.
Yes.
The problem with that, when it's not integrated, when it wasn't integrated for me, I often try to do things on my own because I can do shit on my own. I'm good. I don't need help. Well, my partner, Peyton, is like, I want to be a part of it. I want to support you. And when it's stuff around money or whatever, it was such a wound for me that I didn't want to show any vulnerability there. So I'd be carrying the weight of all like not having liquidity or whatever. And finally I would break and share with her, and it was like everything would go away. She's like, oh, what do we need to do? I don't want you to feel like this. And it's like, oh my God,
Oh God,
she
how
doesn't fucking
great.
care about the money at all.
She cares about you.
That's it. And
So
she's told me that
beautiful.
a number of different ways,
She
but
couldn't hear it.
couldn't hear it because my mind was so on
Yeah.
track with I got to provide. I got to do all
Yep.
this.
Yep. I have that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that too. And I'm like, oh no, I'll take care of it. No, I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to stress. I'll take it. Yeah. It's a weakness, isn't it?
It really is because and it happens even in it happened much. I don't know that it happens so much anymore because when someone offers to help, hey, let me go do that. Yeah, it just could be the smallest thing. And I would say, no, I got this. I got this. It's just like this person wants to show up and I'm robbing them in the experience of being part of like, it could be bringing the groceries in. No, I'll go out and get them myself. The guy's like, I'll go out and get them.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
I do the same thing,
But
Cal.
I'm robbing
totally
them
going
of
through
like,
that.
they want to
Yes.
participate. They wanted to, like their reciprocity is
I
like,
know.
let me. And when I realized, again, through the same process of rewriting that story, in this case with my dad, was I had received a gift when I was in high school. It was a set of golf clubs from someone. There's a guy, an older member at the club. He was a bit like bombastic and weird and whatever. So he was outspoken. People didn't really play golf with him. I didn't care. I got a kick out of him.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so we played golf and he was very generous to me. He would fucking play me. We'll play 18 holes and he'd always lose. He'd lose like a putter and he'd lose the shirt and a golf glove. And then one time he lost a set of golf clubs. He just wanted to give me a set of golf clubs. That's all he wanted to do. And so we did it through the guise of playing this match. And at the end, he said, we'll get you, go pick out your clubs. He goes, will you do me a favor? Will you take out my daughter on a date? It's his stepdaughter. And he didn't mean anything more than like literally just treat her nice, take her out to dinner. I'll pay for dinner, do whatever. I'm like, of course I would do that. But what happened was I got this gift that I didn't feel like I deserved, a set of golf clubs. Like they're expensive. Not only did I get a gift that I didn't feel like I deserved, there were strings attached.
Yeah.
And so when I realized that I've been called very generous and throughout my life, I realized that I didn't want to ever owe someone. So if someone gave me something as a gift, I didn't know how to receive it because that moment was so impactful for me that I felt like, oh, now I got to make it right. I got to give them something back. I've got to. And so I would overgive just to be like, okay, I don't owe anyone. I'm happy to help out or whatever, but and I didn't realize this until earlier this year that I'd been believing this my entire life.
That's huge.
It's like, oh, now I can give and receive without feeling like there's any kind of ledger going on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a huge, huge like abundance opening for you.
Huge. Now it can all flow.
And now it can all flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
And you talk about a lot of this abundance and scarcity. And, again, I think it's especially in this community in Austin, it gets way overused. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about generally. Some people do. I can tell who those people are, and people would say that I have a very abundant mindset. Sure. I've always been able to gather resources that didn't matter, like whatever. I've been able to make shit happen.
Yeah.
And I know quite clearly when I'm in scarcity. And it could be like shopping for something on Amazon. And it's like, I'm looking at the price now. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, just like, but I'm looking at something that's like $18 or $16, where when I'm not in that mindset, I could like have a large purchase and not even think about what it is because it's just energy. It's like, I don't. Some deep wisdom someone shared with me this spring was one of our friends, actually Franco, that painting he did right behind you, the woman, it's all the way behind you. Yeah. So he did that, and we were at a retreat, and Franco's an artist, and he has other things that he sells. And our friend was like, look, who was leading the retreat. He said, look, Franco has some of his stuff back there for if anybody's interested. Just so you know, he's not going to charge enough. That's just the way he is. He'll undervalue what he's selling you. I'm going to recommend that you pay more than that, not just to support Franco, but yes, but every time you do that, you're sending out a message to the universe that you are abundant and you have more to give. And so when you get in and you haggle with someone,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying in some ways, I don't I don't have enough to just pay for this. I need, and there are times when you negotiate. It's not saying every time, but when you can just afford it and just do the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens with tipping too. When you see someone and you've got a $50 meal and someone's working their balls off,
Yeah, exactly.
a little bit of money to you
Right.
doesn't
Exactly.
matter. And it sends
Yep.
a message to them that you really appreciate them if they've earned the extra, but also just in general, just over tipping, it just sends a message. And I got to tell you, it's just like, it feels so good to do it from that. Like, I have this to give and I want you to receive it because I feel like you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's a different energy than, all right, what exactly is it 18%? What's the, I'm like, no, like
I know.
just let it go. It just can bind us up when we're trying to like thread the needle. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
give them too much. I want to send a message. It's like, they don't really fucking care. Like you're just so in your head about like, fine, if they weren't good, let them know. Give them the feedback.
Yeah.
And if you still want to not give them, if you want to stiff them on a tip, that's your bullshit, you know. But
Yeah.
people think they're so fucking smart, and it's like you are drinking the poison and thinking someone else is going to be affected by it
Right. And they're not.
at all.
They're
So like, that guy was an asshole. I
they're
can't believe he gave me anything.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. They're just spending their energy.
that's it.
Yeah.
So how do people? How do you teach people, or can you teach people to go from scarcity to abundance? And what does that really mean? Because again, a lot of people in this town don't fucking know at
Mm-hmm.
all. They're showing, I'm abundant, and they're showing pictures on Instagram with their fucking Porsche or
I
whatever. It's
know.
like, if you're abundant, you don't do that shit. That's when you are in scarcity. And they think they have it. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
bro,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know it. And I feel for you because you're tricking yourself into thinking you're abundant because you have something that's expensive, but you're so in scarcity. You need people to validate you that you're cool, that you have this Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, none of my friends that have way more money than you would have no idea they do because they don't
Right.
fucking do that shit.
Yeah. They don't care if they're driving the white old Ford.
They don't care. They're just
Doesn't
fucking
matter.
moving. Great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's abundance as an identity, and I think there is abundance as flow. And
Okay.
I think that's where we talk about like money is energy, right? But abundance as identity is the Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be the Porsche in the driveway and then you love it and that's fine. But when you have to show it,
Yeah.
is when the identity flips in. Like, I mean, it's great. Enjoy wonderful things. Have a plane, whatever. It doesn't really matter. If you kind of said it though, because you said when you get energetically behind things like your investments, right? And so you don't have this like underlying attachment. Do you buy the Porsche because you're 100% energetically connected to it and you walk in the driveway and you're like, wow, and I love driving this, the feel of it, everything? Or is that element of look what I have? So it's nothing right or wrong. It just changes it. And this is what I have is it becomes the block
Yes. Because it has you.
because it has you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have it. So we're always it's all binary. We're always flipping the coin, and we're either recreating the past or we're creating the future brand new, and that's exactly that. We're recreating the past because it's our conditioning that would need me to for you to know that I have the Porsche. That's conditioning. If I was brought into this world born today, why would I give two shits at what you think?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. And so And I think once we realize that, then it really does go back to the red pill, the blue pill. And once we realize that, how can we apply that every single moment, every single conversation, and then choose, are we living in the matrix? Or are we not?
Yeah.
It's a choice.
And it's important to understand the matrix.
Well, we came here to play in
it. And have one foot in it.
Yeah, we came here to play. That's how we expand, is the contrast.
Yes.
Go back. But does the contrast get you?
And it does for a lot of us for a while. And then when
that's okay.
And when you pop out of it, you have
You're like, whew.
Such a deep history of that contrast.
Yeah.
And when you see the benefit of having lived so controlled,
yes,
and that you're no longer there, you have such great big gratitude for, oh gosh, I'm fucking glad I'm through a large part of that. But that was fucking exhausting, because you don't know who you are. And so you're playing off what you think everybody wants from you. And all along, they just want to know who you are.
Yeah.
Even though they don't know it, because they're as fucked up as the rest of us.
Yeah. And then you go down to, we're all a reflection of each other. And then it gets really wild, right?
It's super interesting.
And you said it, you're like, I'm different than who I was a month ago. I mean, that's how we know.
Yeah.
We don't actually know anything until we look back on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We think we know the future, but there's no future. But you can look back on yourself and have kind of a feeling. You can have your own awareness.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a scary place for people to be.
If you haven't done like a kind of enough of the work, but like if you haven't been curious enough to question the rules that we've been living by, the stories we believed, you don't build that foundation.
Yeah.
Questioning the easier things to question. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. And then start to expand that. Then you can't hold the current that comes through when it's like, there's so much of this that is a lie, and it's not necessarily intentional, but it's just not true. And it's very confronting for people, because we've constructed our whole lives around these things, and we think that's what we're meant to do, meant to be. And then as we start to undo these things, and we finally find the key to the prison that we've made ourselves, that we've put ourselves in, it's like, oh no, who am I if I'm not going to live in this prison? Now I've got to go out into the real world. And it's very destabilizing. It's the dark night of the soul, right? We know that. And if you stay in it long enough and don't turn away from that opportunity, it's incredibly liberating. And that's just the beginning of the work.
That's
because I had mine 8 years ago. And it wasn't until quite recently that everything started to fall into place for me. And I don't mean like I fucking know everything right now, but I see things fundamentally different than I saw them before.
Wow.
And I feel so incredibly free.
Yes.
That it's hard to put words on what that means. I just know that that's how I feel. And I see the impact that it's had on each one of my kids in quite a short period of time. And it's like, we are all just leveling up together. We're seeing the world with such clarity. And frankly, they've blown my mind, because these are concepts that I'm seeing for the first time at 53. And I start to share some of the things just to tease it out. In particular, my two boys, because we've been spending a lot of time together. They fucking get it. They totally get it. I'm like, how the...
It's crazy, the younger generation, how they're getting things, isn't it?
They didn't grow up with our programming. They had different stuff, but they were outside of so much of it because they had access themselves. So it wasn't all this indoctrination of being in the school, doing this, doing like
the role model stuff, the roles that we had to play, like all of it. It's like, I look back on the way that we grew up, and I'm like, that seems like that should have been 100 years ago. Not 40. It's crazy.
At least 100.
Right. Like, it seems like that should have been like when we were like, had the crank on the front of the car or something. Like, what the hell? I don't know what's happened. It's like, the timeline is there is no time anyways, but it is definitely not linear.
I agree. And I talked about the boys with this. I said, it took me 53 years to like wake up to this point. You're 19, you're 22. And to be frank, without going into any details, each of my kids has been through so much more at their age than I
Yes,
ever had to
totally.
experience. And not even just from like a global sense, but individually what they've had to endure and work through and grow through.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that they're way more awake
It does. It
than I
does make sense.
was.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think this generation gets completely mislabeled because so many people in our generation look at them through the lens of our upbringing and they have been brought up completely different. You have no idea until you really get curious. You really ask your kids and you compare your stories to their stories. They have no idea what you're talking about. They think it's hilarious, the shit we believed growing up. They're like,
Yeah.
how could you fucking believe that? And I'm like, that's what we believed. We didn't know any better. We watched Dazed and Confused the other night. They're like, that looked really awesome. That they got like how free that was. And they're like, holy shit, that could have been 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, seriously. I know.
It's fascinating.
I know, you're right. And they are their intelligence level, their capacity to take in information and the way that yeah, you're right. They've just been through so much. I mean, you and I, we were arguing over who's going to get up and turn the volume up on the TV, right?
Holy
It's like,
shit.
and that was night after night after night. Like, it's almost like there was kind of like, I don't know, there was such an inundation of conditioning, but there was also like a deadness to it as well. Like
Yes.
just a formulaic stand in line
Yes.
that we're having to wake up from. So
Stand
we're
in
going through
line.
our whole thing because we still have a stand in line mentality to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
the ones that are coming through now and they're like, I ain't standing in no fucking line. They're like, who is this kid? He's a bad kid. It's like, no, he doesn't believe any of the bullshit that we've been believing.
Right.
And then like, so when I opened up to that, it's like, holy shit, what else can you teach me?
Yes.
Because that you don't care. You don't believe, as you said, they had this stand in line mentality. Everything we were just moved from one that we were just like cattle. And we didn't know it until we look back. It's like, holy shit. And so many players in that, the teachers, whatever, they had no idea either. This was just a system that was set up for good or bad. That's not important. It was a system that we were indoctrinated into.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did really well in that system and you didn't buck the system, you got rewarded. I mean, it was really in play there.
Yeah.
Good grades, better school, great job.
Yeah.
That shit's out the window. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go to college. And frankly, if you go to college, you're not going to have a job probably.
Probably not.
Of what you're like it is changing. And so they're like, you guys are idiots for doing all this.
Yeah.
And yet these kids are being brought up with parents who are still very much not in red pill land.
Right.
And they're like, you're going to college. You're going to the college I went to because I went to fucking Harvard and you're going to do this. And kids are fucking miserable because that is not their path. You're taking over the family business because they have to, because there's so much money involved. And when they're like, I don't fucking want to.
Yeah.
But they're made to.
Yeah.
Because they don't have it. Because the parents are like, well, I took over the family business. Now it's your job. And it's like, it's so fucked up. Everything is so around money. And
yeah,
I'm just here to say it's just not the way it is.
No. And I think you hit upon something really key when you said they don't care. I think, there's an element of if we cared less, even about the significance of our own bullshit, like we would be so much more free, And I think, talked about like the superpowers, like of the childhood. So, the all the shit that I went through in my childhood, I mean, to a certain element, I was like, if I'm going through all this, I'm not gonna do the things that you want me to do. I'm not. I was like, fuck you. I am not gonna be in that role. I am not going to literally get up from the dinner table and go get everybody's plates and go do the dishes because I'm a female. Fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And that I didn't consciously decide that. I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I didn't fall into this typical people pleaser thing or trying to fit into these models. And I think that's exactly what allowed me to go into the world being a bit more neutral
Yeah.
because I want to do things, of course, for people that I connect with, but like I don't feel that pressure to please somebody when they sit down in the room. I don't know. I escaped that. It wasn't my doing, but I'm saying like those little superpowers. But I think what you're talking about, the younger generation, it's not that they don't care. It's not that I don't care. I
That's right.
care. I'm just not going to do it.
Yes.
It's just end of the line.
It's not meant for you to be done. Yes.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think, for you, it sounds like you just had a really strong intuition. And so it wasn't like you were thinking, I'm not going to do this. You're like, this doesn't feel
Doesn't
right.
feel
And,
right.
and I have the capacity to let it be known that this doesn't feel right, maybe verbally or just energetically. Like, you're not going to make me do that shit.
No,
I don't play by those rules.
no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also had more energy and an opening to, my father when he would cry and feel so guilty and be like, I'm such a bad dad. And I'm like, no, you're not. I love you for who you are. So it's like it allowed me to rise in certain ways because I wasn't weighed down by so many roles and ways of doing things. I don't know why. I just wasn't very accepting of all of it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm still not.
No, it sounds like it. And it's interesting. Like, I'm curious, like what this has been like over the last couple of years as you're resolving stuff from childhood, and like what are the practices that have helped you open up to the healing of that, and yeah, being in the a relationship with it that feels more true.
Well, I think money has always felt like very, in flow.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a child, I was like, why are people arguing over money? Like, what's the point? I kind of equated it to like, I also used to think like people would come in the room and they'd be like, hi, how are you? What's the weather? And I'm like, why do these people say the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a waste of time. Like, it just never made sense. Like, why would you be, money is just, it's just a function of who you are and the value and who you're going to be in the world. Right. Where the childhood trauma stuff really showed up with me is in relationships,
Mm-hmm.
more of like intimate relationships where I did find myself going back into, well, it almost feels like because I grew up with so much chaos,
Mm-hmm.
like I found myself starting to be more tolerant of that, like a chaotic type of situation in relationships. And then what I found is falling back into that in order to get out of that, what I was able to do is go, well, it's causing me to not show up in the world as I would normally. I have a responsibility to show up in the world. Am I choosing the blue pill or the red pill? Am I going to show up in the world or am I going to feel more comfortable, which is crazy, in a chaotic
Hmm.
relationship?
Yeah.
You know? And when I say chaotic, chaotic doesn't mean that it's all bad. It's also, it's the polarity of it. It's very strong.
Yeah.
You've got the, oh my God, I'm flying to another planet. This is magic, to I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Fuck
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's this element of me also that has always battled. And it's like, you talk about like, we have to look at our own stories. Like, I feel like I let this story go and then it just comes right back in, which is there's this element of, well, I don't want to be bored because I love like just give me all the things in life, give me all the things like, we're just pulling from all these parallel realities, right? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, give me more, give me more. And I have the energy for it and the capacity for it. So then there's like, what would life be like if that was a calmness? My higher self tells me it's an opening,
Mm-hmm.
but will I step into it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the precipice I'm at,
Yeah, it's uncharted. It's that's the edge, right?
That's the
It's
edge.
uncomfortable.
That's the edge. And it's like, then you have like the angel and the devil on the shoulder because
Yeah.
you're like your higher self. You're like, yes, Elizabeth, don't you want to discover who you can be on the other side of calmness in that area?
Yeah.
Um, and then there's but wow, look at all of the brand new, it's even like, it feels like the content. Cause I don't even feel like the content that I teach is even, I do not feel like it's make out. Like I don't, I feel like all I do is just, I live my life And it's like things get created, even things today. Like this is a co creative process
Yeah.
that is for the benefit of other people. And I just happen to be sitting here.
Yeah, it's very interesting you say that because I've recently started to feel that notion of things coming through that aren't me because I can't, like my mind, in a sense, like my mind can't work out all these things. And it's just one thing after another and it just flows. And there's no construct in my head that's like putting everything together. It's just, so I understand. I
Yeah.
finally understand when someone says what you said, what they mean. It's like
Yes.
you're just a channel for like this stuff that's coming through and it's so clean.
Yes.
And you're just like so unattached to it. You're like, this is just fucking here.
Yeah. And one of the things that I sort of had to deal with, if you will, is like when I first kind of noticed this, I was like, well, let me try and make it linear for other people. But then there's nothing linear in the universal field of energy. It's dynamic.
Yeah.
And so then I had to give up on that. And so then that is for me, like, I honestly feel like if it was just me and anything was coming through, it would be very like not useful because I almost feel like it needs to be in a co-creative, because I don't think we do anything alone.
Mm-hmm.
It would be in a co-creative process, the translation of anything through other people's experience of it as well as mine. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I do think that 75% of the world, I mean, statistically, 75% of the world is linear thinkers.
Okay.
And so then you do have this sort of element of be on the frequency with other people and co-create magic together. And I think that's where like I'm moving more and more towards, is just the letting go of what any of this looks like, any of it, whether it's a spiritual investor, whether it's my relationship, whether it's like even, it's kind of weird. I'm like back in Tennessee now. I mean, I lived in California most of my life.
Yeah.
I got a divorce and I was like, I was at a crossroad. Do I keep this big giant horse ranch, which is like the cost of it? We had like 5 people working there.
Oh shit.
And I was like, and I was doing like dressage lessons and all that every morning. And I was like, do I want to keep that? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I want to actually be free. I'd gotten an inheritance in Tennessee and I thought I would just rent that out. It's farmland and a home. And the timing of it was uncanny because that had just come to fruition like 6 months before. And I was like, wait, why don't I just go home, soft landing, actually be of service to these people, these family members who took care of me as a child?
Yes.
Because I got dropped off at their house, aunts, uncles, friends of family.
Wow.
They opened their home to me as a child. And now they're in their late 70s. And I get to go back and be in service to them. I was like, if I don't see this writing on the wall, then like I am an absolute fool, right? But then I knew in that moment, Cal, I was like, oh, but here comes the wave. Because I'm going back into exactly what I escaped from, right before high school.
Yes.
And it's been the fire, but the opportunities, I cannot tell you the opportunities that have all lined up in my life. And just when I think there can't be more of them, it's more and more and more. And I know it is because I am now on the other side of this fire I've been walking through. I'm on the other side of it. There's no way that I would be where I am right now and be able to help people the way that I can help people. No way.
I love that. I love that for you. I love like you going back in and just like healing all I think that's really the only way it happens is in almost like in the place of where it happened,
Exactly. I had to go back there.
and have that resolution and
Yes.
to
And to look at myself in that environment and go, wow, who am I? Because you said that earlier.
yeah.
Who am I? I had to look at myself there. And I had to watch myself escape there too, because when I went back, all I did was leave.
You and I are a lot alike.
Really?
When I left,
Yeah.
I grew up in a small town in Maine, and I left in, after my junior year in high school, I went to boarding school, repeated my junior year, and then went on to college and then went to Chicago. Like I was pretty much gone at that point. And I didn't, I mean, I would go home and visit, once, maybe twice a year for different things. And
Yeah.
I was always leaving.
Yeah.
And what I realized that I went back, we all went back for my mom's 75th birthday in August. And I think a culmination of all the work I'd done, everything just fell into place. Like I felt like I came home for the first time since
Wow.
18. And
Wow.
what I realized was when I left, I had this idea of like I wanted to be something in the world. I wanted to be this like the kid who made it out of this small town, made money, we had
Mm.
these cool experiences, whatever you want to call it. And I went to Amherst College, which at the time was the number one liberal arts college in the country. It's like, how the fuck did I do this? But I did it. This is the type of
Mhm.
shit I was just like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm here. Trader, became a partner after a couple years, was making a lot of money, had met Peyton, incredible, like, I can't believe I met her, married, kids, cool experiences, homes, awesome friends, all the things. So every time I would go home, I was carrying the weight of all these expectations that I was still upholding this idea that I'm going to be successful. The thing
Mm.
was, no one was putting those expectations on me but myself. I didn't realize that.
Mm.
So I would go back and have to present like, oh, these things are great. And this is like just with a mask on. This
Mm.
is, I'm no longer the one who grew up here. I'm this other version, this better version that's
Yes.
successful.
Yes, I did that too.
And so
Yeah.
I was not true to who I was.
Mm-mm.
And it wasn't until I went home, we went home for my mom's birthday this year that I didn't come with any of that energy. And I started to see like, oh, I, that was all me. No one cared about, everyone just wanted to see me. And I would never give them that because I thought they wanted the one who was successful. Because in my mind, that was cool. That was the guy who like,
Yes.
and I would take care of people, whatever. But like, then that was even like, that doesn't feel right because I'm
Yes.
not really helping them. That. So there's this whole bunch of shit that was going on. And you can imagine the fucking tears that flowed when I finally felt like I was home again. And my mom was there and my sister, who's Lindsay's mom, was there. And they just held me in that.
Wow.
It was the most,
That's
like, I've
amazing,
done
Cal.
so many plant medicine journeys that have been amazing and healing. And
Wow.
that was the most healing experience I've ever had.
Really? Thank you
Really.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until this moment, you and I are living parallel worlds.
Sounds like it. Yeah. I didn't realize until you
Yeah,
talked
we
about that
are.
experience about
We
going
have
back to Tennessee.
there's so many parallels between you and I. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I think you're a step ahead of me on this home thing though. I think even just hearing you tell that story, like I can already feel myself in that story. Like I'm not there yet. I haven't let go that much.
Yeah.
But I will
Great.
go home having let go more because of this conversation with you.
And, we think you came on here to
It's so crazy.
but
So
it's like,
crazy.
it's these little things that we show with each other
Yeah.
that feel so resonant. And
Yeah.
it's like, it gives us for me, it gives me not even the confidence, but it shows me what's possible for someone that I can relate to. It's like, okay, I'm similar in that situation. And then you play it out and it feels like,
Yeah.
I want that. It feels true, actually. Oh,
Yes.
wow. I hadn't thought about it that way. And then when it's our own shit, I mean, we know like that's the
Yeah.
empowerment. Like, oh, I get to be accountable to this. It's not because of my dad or my mom or my sister or my aunts and uncles. It's actually, this has all been me the whole time. It's like amazing. That means I get to change this. I have full agency to change it.
Yeah.
Am I ready to? Maybe I'm not. And that's great too. When the time is right, those things just will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. God, you're so amazing.
I've been just
Thank you.
it's been a season of learning a lot and like integrating a lot. And so these conversations really help me. I don't want to say make sense, but just like integrate. It's like, okay, what does this actually mean with this feeling? Like, what does it mean? So it could just be like a breadcrumb for someone else, just like I had the breadcrumbs along the way. And I was seeking out the breadcrumbs because I don't know what I don't know. And the shit I think I know that's not true. So it can be a lot for people if you don't have the capacity for it. I was fortunate that I had the time and space for it and I had the resources to do whatever I wanted to do. And that's not enough. You have to fucking really want it
You do.
because you go against what a lot of people are doing, and people that love you very much, they don't understand because it's not their experience. And
That's right.
so a lot of times it can be very uh, solitary, and you got to be okay with that. And you got to be okay with people not understanding what the fuck you're doing. It's like, I don't really know either, but I know I have to do this. And so if you're not okay with it, I don't know what to tell you. There are some things that I'll say, okay, I won't, but ultimately, like, I feel very called to do this and I can't explain it. So it's not in my head. I'm getting called from somewhere else and I'm just trusting it. And it's like the more I've done that, it's like really difficult for men. We're so in our head. Women are so traditionally in their body, in their intuition. Men, it's like I think our journey is to integrate those things and to
Yes.
open up the intuition so then that the mind just becomes the servant and not the master. And that's been me just trusting when I don't know why the fuck I'm doing it. But as it became more and more revealed to me, it was me just trusting my gut.
Yes.
And it's like, I was talking to someone the other day on the podcast, and he just thinks it's like trusting your gut is just walking around all willy nilly, like with no thought at all. It's like, no, like you trust your gut and then you bring your brain in
Yes.
to figure out some other pieces of it. But I'm not just some guy who's stoned all the time. And like, it's like, bro, you're so in your head. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been a journey.
God, your openness is allowing a lot of people to sort of ride your magic carpet ride, which is great, which is accelerating their process.
Well, it accelerates my process because if
That's
I'm not
exactly
open,
right.
then I'm holding shit. I'm withholding. And it doesn't mean I share everything. I mean, there's stuff that's sacred, right? To
Yeah.
me and Peyton, to me and the kids, to me and my friends.
Yep.
And that's for us. But I can still share enough openness that it's just true. And I think when you just hear it, you know it's true. When you're on Instagram and you see someone talk about the same thing, you're like, I don't get it. And it's like, it's the frequencies off because they're saying the right words, but their energy is their body's telling them that you're full of shit right now, but they're doing a real good job. And you're like, I don't know why I trust this person and I don't trust this person. And I just feel like I know enough of these people. The first guy is fully integrated the experience. He's sharing it. It's like that guy has been through it. And this other guy knows all the words and he's trying. Trying so hard. And I have so much compassion for him because I've been there too.
Yes.
I've just been better about not voicing that shit in a fake way on social media.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll voice it and it's like, well, he's in one right now. It's like, yeah. But it helps for me to share it because it takes the sting out of it. It takes the charge. It takes the shame. It's like you just speak it out there. It's like that gets it a layer away from that ickiness.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel better in your I feel like better in your presence. Has anyone ever told you that?
I have heard that.
Yes, it's really interesting, and I wanted to bring it up because it's probably hard to pick up on that, like on social media.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And I'd say
You're welcome.
Today, there's been a lot that I've integrated and grounded. And I think it can be really exciting to be around me sometimes, but I can be so fucking like on one that it's like a lot of energy.
I can do. I'm the same way. I can be like so much energy or very grounded. Sometimes people are like, "You're very grounded." I'm like, I actually have no grounding at all in my astrology.
Yeah.
It's mainly fire, right?
Yeah. And I'm fire and water.
Yeah, me too. I'm fire and water. And it's like, but I can seem grounded,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I think that's because I am just so interested in them, because I
That's right.
like the connection point. That's what brings the grounding is the connection point.
Yeah.
And it's almost like then I'm stepping outside of me. So then it doesn't matter what my astrology is in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah, I can follow that. And I think that's what it is for me. Like I get what I love about the podcast is the intimacy that's created in this conversation.
Yes.
That's what I love about my men's group is the
Yes.
intimacy in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is ever jeopardized, as an example, Lindsay, we kind of joke about this, but if the podcast ever got like really big and that started to jeopardize my kind of anonymity where people don't know who I am. Like I have friends in Austin, but like I'm not recognizable. If that ever changes, I think I stop the podcast because I don't want anything to change. I don't want anyone to fuck up my world and know too much of my business.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
I
not
get that.
a private person, but I do value privacy and those things that are sacred. I have plenty of friends that are either former Hall of Fame athletes or they're music, whatever. And it's like, I've been around them and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, thank you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel for you guys
Mm-hmm.
because you're bothered all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think what you're talking about is that connection that we create with people can be very grounding, you know, and I think that's what happens for me too, is I just I get in the pocket with someone, whether it's on the podcast or otherwise.
Yes.
And I'm just there. Like we're just
Yes.
here present, like
Nothing else exists.
nothing else exists.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very freeing.
It is very freeing.
And you'll talk to someone, you're like, I don't like now I know what it is, but before I'm like, I don't know, it's fucking like that, dude. It's like the energy. It's all the words
Yeah.
don't matter. It's like what's going
That's
on
right.
right there.
That's right. And it's like you say, you can have empathy, but I can't really engage that much.
No.
I can't.
The guard comes up. It's like
The
we're
guard
we're
comes
we're,
up.
we're on two different frequencies. Not one's better. They're just different.
Yes.
And so we can't meet, can't harmonize where we're at.
Nope.
You're
Can't do
talking
it.
about shit that I'm like,
Yes.
what? And I'm trying to get you on this level, and you're like, what? And then you're just
Yes.
like, all right, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was an attunement for me as a child too, because there was a lot of violence, there was a lot of drugs, there was a lot of all of that going in and out of the house all the time, and so there was a certain level of attunement with and there was this, and I gave myself the pardon that I don't need to be like, I don't need them to think I'm the perfect child, or I don't need to speak to them if I don't want to speak to them, then I won't, you know. And I think that like I said, it's kind of it's the flip side is I'm actually more open because of that. It's a weird thing, you know. And I do think that that there are people who maybe 99% of the people they meet, they feel that like they can't, it's guarded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, how lonely.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you find people with a lot of people around them who still feel lonely.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's I mean, that's really where the empathy comes in. It's like, God, like that must be just a rough way to go through life. You know, we've had periods of loneliness, but they're periods.
They're periods.
And
yeah.
they're
It's not a
important
way
to
of being.
remind us, like, in the contrast, okay,
Yeah.
like it's okay to be lonely, but we get to pop out of that. But when that's like your orientation to life, and maybe it gets normalized after a while, but maybe you just disassociate. Again, I don't want to even begin to understand because it's I've only had touches of it and it wouldn't count, right? It's
Yes.
like
Yeah. I think it diminishes the access point for them,
mhm,
because like I have a lot of access to the world. You have a lot of access to the world. I mean, this stunning place, right? The
mhm.
energy of this, all of this, it's all just opportunity and positioning and stepping into it.
That's right.
It's all it is. I don't think that there's anything special about it other than like I'm like, okay, hey, yeah, I'll do that. I'll take that job. I'll do this, and, to even get to the trading job, I did, I worked the weekends. I did, like, of course you've got to go above and beyond, but it doesn't feel like that if you're energetically behind it.
That's right.
It doesn't feel like a sacrifice anymore. It feels like it just felt like something I was doing.
Yeah. And enjoying and getting paid too.
And enjoying and doing that until it didn't.
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to switch. The neutrality in the switch is what escapes most people.
Yeah. Sounds like you probably had a similar experience. But for me, people are like, how could you leave? You were a partner and you were making this money. And I go,
Same thing. Yeah.
You realize how hard it would have been to stay? The easy thing was to leave
Totally.
at that point.
Totally.
And again, they haven't had that experience. And I wouldn't have understood it either until I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like a fucking fraud. I don't want to be here. I'm like going through the motions. I'm a partner. Like, and then I realize, oh, I just need to leave. Oh, all that weight comes off the shoulders. I don't know what I'm going to do. The first day that I wasn't at work, I was like, oh my God. And I had a lot of freedom there as a partner, and we would go away for weeks in the summer. But to be like, I remember being down in my office, like, what do I even do right now? Like, I don't have to be anywhere. No one is counting on me.
That.
Holy shit.
I went through that, and I went through the whole, oh my God, you're walking away, like 6-figure bonuses and all this shit. You're walking away. And, I did kind of have to pause on that for a minute, but then you said it though, fraud. That is exactly it. I couldn't show up as a fraud anymore. Like I had to do it for a little while.
Yeah, you
honestly.
have to, just to be
play
sure.
The game, right?
Am I a fraud or am I just, yes.
Or am I just like in a bad mood?
Yes.
Right? Am I just going through a phase, right? But it's because if you show up as a fraud over and over and over again, you literally are giving up a part of you. Yes. I don't care what you're doing. You're giving up a part of you. And I wasn't willing to do it. No way.
And the negative self-talk gets really loud and it gets really gnarly. They're like, dude, you're a fucking loser. Yeah, what are you doing? And it's like, what do I do?
Club. It's like a club. And there is a indoctrination within an environment like that you have a job that everybody else wants.
Yeah.
And I did believe that. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But I believed that. I was like, I've gotten to a level where, oh my God, everybody would want to be me. Why the hell would I leave this? Well, I don't think everybody did want to work 12 hours a day on a trading floor.
Yeah. 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 Some people did until they didn't. And they're like, no. And some people did and they didn't. Like, this is even better than I thought.
Yeah.
When I first started trading, I was probably trading for about a year. I remember talking to one of my buddies who traded for a different group, but he'd been trading maybe 3 years longer than me, at least 2, but he'd been very well established at that point. And I'm like, man, I would fucking do this. They pay me 50 grand a year. I love this. And he was at the point, he's like,
I used to.
Yeah, I don't know, grasshopper. Like it's different, because you can make a lot more than 50 grand. I know you love this, but that's how much I loved it. Like, oh my God, I get to play this game. And then like, I can make like a good amount of money doing it. Like, holy shit. What a lucky, what an incredible opportunity.
Lucky. Same thing. I was so lucky. At one point I was like, I'll do this for free.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Like then it was like, you can't pay me enough. I got to get the fuck out.
I know. But thank God I had that because that established a financial foundation for me. Yep. There's no way in hell that I would have been positioned to buy real estate after the financial crisis in San Diego. I mean, that was really the beginning of the wealth building was all that. And but I think, that there's always an opportunity, even right now, at every time in space. It's like, what are we going to step into? But thank God for that, because it's allowing me to do the things that I do now,
Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
it's that financial flexibility creates a lot of other opportunities, and it doesn't mean that other issues don't arise. They do.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful that I do have that flexibility.
Yes. Absolutely. And helping, me being able to help other people spot opportunities or, and I don't even know, it's kind of their opportunity. It's almost me helping them position themselves so that they can spot the opportunities that
Yeah. So
could
what's it
even.
look like to work with you?
Um, well, the mastermind, that's where I work with most people. That's
Hmm.
that's more of like an intimate container. A lot of people are just like kind of like sitting on the sidelines with, they don't feel like they know enough to invest.
Yep.
They feel like they've missed the market or whatever investment it is, whether it's crypto, stocks, real estate, whatever it is, right? They feel like they've missed the market. So that continues to, they just continue to do nothing because they don't want to think about it.
Hmm.
A lot of people feel like, they don't make enough. They don't have enough to invest. So why bother? Or they feel like they don't want to do money management or anything like that because then they'll feel controlled and sacrifice and won't be able to live the life that they want now. Right. So you get the culmination of that. And, being able to work with people in an environment where it's like, okay, let's just talk about all of that. And it's kind of like what you said. Let's get beyond that. And then instead of just talking about, okay, money is energy, it's like, yes, take the concepts, but then actually bring them down into the 3D world, take an action step behind it.
Hmm.
But it's a different action step than they would have taken had they started. It's like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, it's almost like changing the starting point. So if you're starting from the fear and scarcity and you're going, I need to invest, then it's kind of like what you said about when you invested in business way back then, and maybe you weren't fully behind it, right? You were just
Yeah.
kind of, you still got that lack energy in it.
Hmm. For
Then
sure.
then there's a struggle in it. And
Mm.
then there's I have to do it. And then it becomes kind of even more exhausting to be an investor from that point of view,
Mm.
from wherever you are then. So to be able to help people change the starting place from more of who they are, which is, you have done this naturally, by the
Hmm.
way, um, is help them start from that place. Then you go back into the 3D world, let's say, and then your action step. And your action step might look way different. It probably will look way different than you ever thought it would be.
Hmm.
You wouldn't have had access to it. You may do money management in a completely way that would feel illogical and irresponsible for you if
Hmm.
you had started from there. However, it's sustainable and life giving, then you've won. Then you don't need anyone to tell you how to deal with your money anymore. Then it
Hmm.
just becomes then you, instead of, so you're taking yourself outside of the time and effort and you're putting yourself more in the momentum of it all. And that's kind of like the foundation of it all. So I work with people in the mastermind, quite a bit. And then we have, this $17 a month club that people can come in, and I give them a few stocks and teach them how to get started. And, I have live workshops. And so it really just depends on, I feel like it's my job to kind of meet people where they are,
Yeah.
or the podcast that's free.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't really matter to me as long as, people are just taking what resonates with them. You know, it's I guess we're all on a certain frequency, and people are going to, it's a natural filtering system. People are going to line up and they're going to be interested and they're going to take something from it. And if they do, if they don't, it doesn't mean anything about me.
Yeah. That's right.
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
do. And
And
that's
I
like
just,
that's a big step right there
yeah,
personally, right? Like this isn't about me.
it's
It's
not about me.
I'm sending out a frequency
Yeah.
and meeting people where they're
Yeah.
at. And
Yeah. And I actually, you talked about the process where like you're expanding through like, the men's group and the things that you're doing. The mastermind for me is one of my biggest expansion points
hmm.
because I'm so there with them and they're so there with me. And they're willing, because it is a higher ticket offer, they're willing to go vertical. They're not just going to go and just like, okay, I just got this thing for free. Maybe I'll look at it on a Wednesday, maybe I won't, right? There's a level of commitment from them. And there's also, okay, I'm here for 12 weeks. I want to change my life, or I want to transform into something new. So you get that alignment too,
Yes.
I think, with it, which is outside of money, way outside of money. Alignment and co-creation happens as a function of it, even, right? Money's just the container.
Yeah, I love that you said that too, because it is the alignment and the co-creation, and it is again talk about changing the story. For so long, it's been, if someone in your position would be teaching down and they would be taking notes or whatever, but you shift it so you're on the same playing,
Yeah.
you're on the same level, and you are learning just as much as they are
Yeah.
through this, as you said, co-creation. There's no like lecturing, and it's
Mm-mm.
sharing, getting feedback, taking it where they want it to go, you learning something, you re-articulating. It was like, I've never said it that way before. That's interesting. Someone sharing their story, like, I haven't thought about that. And then you put it through your whole filter system. You're like, that's fascinating. And it's this whole thing where this is one of those ones where you're just like, I can't believe I get paid to like do stuff like this. It's so cool.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? You know what happens is it becomes our standard.
Yeah.
So the trading floor was amazing until it wasn't. And then my standard changed.
Yeah.
But it's not standard from a judgment, standard from within.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the mastermind, that's now a standard, right? Even the people in my life to a certain degree, I actually think is the more we expand into our own greater consciousness, the more that these people come in who are sort of playing the same game in terms of their standard.
Yes, absolutely. And it comes back to what we were talking about before we get on here about boundaries. And when we get really
Yes.
clear on our boundaries,
Yes.
people see who's in our inner circle, not from a judgment, but they see that, look, this person is someone of high integrity, and they don't just let anybody in because they want to be liked.
Right.
They keep that standard really high, and you know where you're at with them, and they'll love you and give you time and attention. And there are things that are meant for people that have been through the things that they've been through together, that they've
Together.
built that trust. And so you
Yes.
become trustworthy, and people pick up on that because
Mhm.
you're not trying to do anything. You're just standing in who you are. And that's what I think really radiates when you're at a party and you see someone, you're like, what is it about that guy or that gal? There's just
Yes.
something so powerful about them that I
Mhm.
want to know more about them. They're like fascinating.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
when you start putting those people in a room or you start magnetizing those people into your life, it's like you can't help but have more abundance in your life or
Yeah.
change or whatever. And it feels so much easier,
It is so much easier.
isn't it? Like that's what
Yeah.
we talked about. Like all of life, whether it's work or not life, feels like the I might go to the airport today, I might not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really freeing
So
to have
funny.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Like I just went to Costa Rica. I was supposed to be there for 7 days.
Yeah.
I stayed 28 days
Yeah. Wow.
because I was just like, okay, well, I have made the life for myself where I can do something like that. And, I'm like, well, I've just got like a couple things to, check on. Can I stay in the place longer? Check. Can I do my meetings from here? Check the Wi-Fi. Check. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
Can the pet sitter stay and, feed my horses and my animals? Check. That took about 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's like,
And even with those phone calls though, Cal, I was like, but if there's someone can, it doesn't work for them because nothing works unless it's a win-win situation.
mhm.
That's my belief is, and that comes to anything with money too. It's got to be a win-win, right? If they can't do it, if it does not a win-win for the pet sitter, then I'll just figure out something different. And it might not be me leaving Costa Rica. It might be me thinking of something different. It's like the limitless possibilities
Mhm.
are what give us the access, not the can I do this or is this locked out or whatever. But I have to step into the responsibility that, well, I'm going to figure out something different, you know? And if I'd left Costa Rica, that would have been fine too. But I wasn't meant to leave because I was meant to meet the people that I met down there.
Mhm.
I learned to surf. And so that I was doing that a lot. And I booked the same place so that I can go back for another month next year. And now that's going to be
Uh,
kind of a part of my life,
yes.
which is a
Yeah.
great balance for me. And I love the simplicity of walking to the restaurants on the dirt roads. And
Mm.
every morning I got up and I just put my bathing suit on and flip flops and I just went and swam in the ocean. Like it's so warm down there,
Yeah.
it's like, what are the things that I love about it? And that's how I'm building my life rather
Yeah.
than what I don't have access to.
Yeah. You're getting these anchors. Okay.
It's showing me.
This
It's
is
showing me
this
everything.
feels really good. Like
Yeah.
let's ground that in.
Yeah.
And then I think, yeah, you get start to get real curious about the rest of your life, the rest of
Yeah.
the days. And like I love the case of staying in Costa Rica, that if something didn't work out, you were gonna be fine. You weren't just gonna give up, but you were tuned into like there's nowhere for me to be. If I need to take care of get the horses, like I'll figure that there's a solution there, but you're owning the fact that you have choice,
Yeah.
and you're letting go of the preference of, okay, now that I had this idea about being in Costa Rica, I have to stay here. I have to do everything I can to make it work. And then we constrict. But you're like,
Mm.
I don't need to be anywhere, but maybe I can't be here because I got to be closer there. And now you're just opened up to a world of possibilities. And
Yeah.
you just start tracking that. You're like, okay, I previously hadn't thought that I had this much capacity, this much space.
Hmm.
So what can I just be open to, and then just have the choices of what I can do, and again let go of, I'm supposed to do this or I'm supposed to do that. It's like, no, nothing is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of live my life from like a bookend as well. So like I have that free flow. What I did have was 3 interviews here in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I got home in time to do the interviews that have been set up here, I'm fine, right? It's
Yeah.
like, and then, my aunt was asking me today. She's like, "Well, what's next?" I'm like, "I've got 4 interviews I need to line up in Los Angeles. That will be November, December.
Yeah.
That's going to come together." So it's a bookend, a bookend, a bookend.
Yeah.
Like I'll ride my horses in between because it's good weather in Tennessee, right? It's just I feel like it's just pulling down these parallel realities as long as, as crazy as that probably sounds, and then taking whatever action is needed from there. And that's money, that's life, that's all of it. I have to keep not recognizing myself.
Mm.
Like I have to keep, if I recognize who I am in all of this too much, then I know I'm repeating a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
just booked Costa Rica and spent a whole month. That wouldn't have been me even just 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to highlight. Just from my own experience, it's you're getting out of the kind of the patterns of how we've done things in the past. It just happened for me,
Yeah.
frankly. We were flying to Arizona to go to my daughter's family weekend. It was last weekend, and we're flying into Phoenix and driving down to Tucson. It's me, Peyton, and our 2 boys. And about halfway through the flight, I was like, I got to book my rental car. I've always usually do it beforehand, but no big deal.
Yeah.
Today they'll get it dialed, and I look into Hertz in Phoenix, 0 cars.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, see what else. Maybe it's a glitch, whatever. I'll go on Orbitz and see who else. It was like a couple, like, to be honest, it's like not rental car companies I would rent from. And so instead of panicking and being like, fuck, how are we going to get there? I was like, okay, well, maybe we can just fly down there. And I looked, and it was like the flight was much later from Phoenix to Tucson. And then it occurred to me, I wonder what it's like to get an Uber like ahead of time, just to make sure it's waiting for us. And they make it so easy. I had no idea that you
Mhm.
type in the airport, and for people who don't know, it lists all the airlines. You click your airline, and then they list all the flights coming in on that airline into Phoenix in this case. And then once you click your flight, it shows you the options of where you're going to Tucson. Okay, this is what the different prices are. We all know that about Uber. And so I just booked us like an SUV because there were 4 of us with luggage. And I was like, holy shit. My preference has always been get a rental car. Why do I get a rental
See?
car? There was some reason I might listen to my own music. I like to stop sometimes at the store.
Yep.
I like to drive. I thought I liked to drive. All these reasons. So this came up as I'm super aware of these stories now. So I'm like, okay, let me get
Yeah.
curious. Why do I always rent a rental car?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I fucking may never rent one again. We had the best experience. The four of us were just sitting there, plenty of space. We put our music on the Bluetooth. I was texting people. We were having a conversation. We stopped,
I
went to
love
the
it.
bathroom. I was eating food. I was just like,
I love
and
it.
amazed the whole time. Like, I've been robbing myself of this experience. Like, this was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we are open to, those types of experiences when we do something that's different than what we've always done. To your point, when you're like,
Yes.
I would normally just go home because I booked for 7 days and you're supposed to leave. It's like, I don't have anywhere to be. And it's like, okay.
Yes.
Then all these other things pop up. Why do I only get in Ubers and I don't get in taxi cabs? Like the taxi cabs, like when Uber came in, I loved the accountability. I loved how they pulled all that together. And these guys who are driving taxis, they have to know the city, pass this test to get the medallion and all that. And so now maybe I should take some taxis and honor their work. And
Mm-hmm.
like, it's just because we want it makes things simpler when we just have the story. This is the way I do it. I don't have to think about this anymore. Boom, boom, boom. But then we lose all presence because we're just running on programs all the time. And we start to undo all those programs and do what we want and what we feel. And maybe I want to get an Uber today. Maybe I want to get like, but you get curious about it. And now it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a decision. And then you have the choice. You don't have, I had a preference
Yes.
before. My preference was rental car all the time. Now it's like, I have a choice. Maybe a rental car, maybe an Uber, maybe a taxi. I'll feel whatever feels like that makes the most sense in that case.
Yes.
You know?
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that because that is so like it's that's kind of the what we're doing over and over again, right? And you said something really key because you said then we have a choice. And so if we're doing the same thing over and over again, what do we not have? The only thing we don't have is a
We
choice.
don't.
But yet we say that we want choices.
Yeah.
So what the hell are we doing?
We're putting
Like,
ourselves
I
in
mean,
that
I
prison.
feel like we've almost come back. This is so cool because I feel like we've almost come back to like the name of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
You know, seriously, because what you're talking about is the biggest thing is to just do something that you didn't do before, and then you discover who you are. Like you're discovering who you are. You're in the back of the SUV. You could have done that drive in the rental car and not remembered it.
Yes.
Probably that's what would have happened. But
Yeah.
now then it's like you actually remembered you. So it's like there's this whole spiritual thing about the remembering of us. But if we don't have a choice, which brings our awareness back in, which brings us into it, we're not going to remember. We're effectively asleep.
Asleep. Absolutely. That's
Yes.
what happens.
That's what happens over and over again. Right.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting is that it costs us energy to be asleep.
Absolutely.
That's the whole joke.
That is it right
That's why
there.
we're exhausted. We're
Yes.
spending our energy to be asleep because we're naturally not asleep.
Yes. And being asleep, we're still having to track all the stories just in
Yeah.
some way. And so we're like, okay, what am I, and like, who am I? And like when
Prove
we
it.
let go of that,
Yes.
we're present. And then we're using our body, our intuition to help us decide what we want in that choice. And when we do that, it becomes really fun because you're like, or I'm like, we had some like fucking Doritos or something at the house. I haven't eaten them in 15 years. And I'm
love it.
like, I want to have the experience of eating some Doritos. I don't necessarily want to eat the whole bag, but I want to know, like, I fucking love these things.
The fake powder on the give it, right? I haven't
What?
had that in 15 years. Let's just do it.
Let's do it. And we happen to have like a Coke in the fridge. I'm like, I'm going to have a fucking Coke too. I don't remember the last
Right.
time I had a Coke.
Me neither.
And I'm like, okay, that was fun and I'm good. I
Right.
don't need to do that again. But I just
Yes.
wanted to know. And I allowed myself to do that without,
Yes.
this is fucking bad for you. And
Right.
like, you can't even read the back of the like all of that. It's like, none of that matters.
No, it doesn't
Like, I
matter.
wanted to have that experience. And I did. I hadn't drank really for probably 2 years. And like soon after that, Peyton and I were out to dinner, and I just been playing golf with guys earlier, and those guys drink all the time, and they have a great time. And one of the guys was talking about a Guinness he had at the clubhouse, and he's like, "It's really
Yeah.
good and all that." I literally hadn't drank except for when we went to Italy. I feel like that doesn't count because you're drinking the wine.
Yeah.
We were at dinner, and I was like, "I'll have a Guinness," and Peyton was like, "Who's this guy?" And so I get the Guinness, and I take like 3 sips of it, and I was like, "Fuck, that's exactly what I want." Like I wanted to have that experience. I didn't need to drink the whole thing. I like
Yeah.
got my like,
Yeah.
yeah, like that was. And then
Mhm.
there's no like I don't drink, and like I even hate saying I don't drink because it's not true. Like the other day I had a beer. Like we put ourselves in these
I
boxes.
love that. I love that you are getting beyond the labels.
Yeah, there's just boxes.
They are, and they're just like we're just trying to prove who we're trying to prove ourselves that I don't drink or I do drink. Well, okay, that's like proving yourself. Like
Yeah.
I am challenging myself on so many levels to go beyond labels. Like it is just insane. Sometimes I'm like, God, like surprise myself, you
Yes,
know?
that's what happens, right?
That's what happens, right? But I'm just like, who cares, right?
No one
No
cares.
one cares. We think they care,
We
but that's
do.
our ego that thinks that they care,
Yeah,
but they don't. They have their own life and they
absolutely.
really do not care.
Yeah, and I forget what the saying is, but if you basically think about how much you care about other people, and I know we care about people, but their business and all that,
Yeah.
like we don't fucking
No,
care.
we don't.
So they don't care about
No,
us either.
no.
And it's a very eloquent way that they said it. It wasn't like, but there's a gist
Yeah.
of it. Like
Yeah.
they care as much as you care about them. They don't. They don't care about you in that way. They
Mhm.
care about your heart and all that, but it's so fascinating. Again, it's another story we believe. Like, oh, he's
Yeah.
going to be upset. I was supposed to come out here last night and be with a few friends. And I was just pretty tired. And I was hanging out with, at that point, my older son, Jake. And I texted or sent my buddy a voice memo because the 2 other people that were going to be there were fucking awesome. I hadn't seen them in quite a while. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm having kind of like just a lazy afternoon, and I'm really feeling like I want to chill with the boys and just like whatever, like watch football and whatever. And before I did that, I had checked in with myself maybe 3 times, and I'm like, ugh, it's like I'm just fucking feeling really good at home right now,
Yeah.
and I really would love to see those guys. And I'm like, I want to like when I tune in, the choice is stay home. So I did it 3 times over the course of a couple hours. And then I finally was like, okay, like I know what I want to do. I want to stay home. So I
Yeah.
sent him a voice memo, and he's like, oh, Cal, he goes, I'm a bit jealous. I'm pretty tired myself. And it sounds awesome that you're just going to be hanging out with your boys. And
Oh, that's good.
he wasn't like, oh, really bummed you're not going to make it. Because people will do that, right? And it
Yeah.
may be genuine, but sometimes we receive it like we let them down. I don't
Right.
want to let someone down. That
Right.
was like the story I was believing
Yeah, I do that.
yesterday.
Mhm.
I don't want to let him down,
Mhm.
because I know it would be a great hang and all that. But when you get someone like my friend Franco who gets it,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, God bless you for like trusting that this is what you're meant to do in this moment. Like,
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
We'll miss you. And I'm kind of jealous because I'm pretty tired too.
Yeah.
And then they were up super late and had an amazing time. So, like, it was all perfect. And again, those are when the stories come in, and it's like, okay, now I see them. And now I get to undo them
Yeah.
and trust that in every moment there's a party I got invited to tonight that I'll probably go to. But like right now, I would say if I had to decide to go, I'd say no, I don't feel like I feel more like chilling. But as the day unfolds, like I'm just staying open to getting the nudge to go to this party.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. I don't need to decide. And like
Yeah.
that's been one of the biggest things for me is not feeling like I need to decide for myself in that moment. It's like, okay, this is an opportunity. What's the latest I can decide? It doesn't mean I
Mhm.
wait until that time, but I try to be respectful of, the other parties. And if it doesn't really matter, I don't actually need to decide. No one's expecting me to go there except my buddy Franco, and I can let him know. But like,
Mhm.
it's just we can just get out of our own way, but we need to be aware of these things.
Yeah.
to realize their stories, to be able to undo these agreements that we've made.
Yes.
And that's like showing up.
And it's amazing that you give yourself, because some of it is permission, to
Yes.
do that kind of stuff. Because I think it's acceptance of people. When we accept people, we don't need things from them. And when we don't need things from them, we're actually in full love.
Love that.
And so you're practicing that
Mm-hmm.
in an energetic way, which is allowing you to be bigger
Mm-hmm.
as a human for your family, for the people listening to this, for all of that. And I think that goes back to then it's not linear.
Mm-hmm.
It's dynamic, right? And so you have this practice of the acceptance, not needing equals full love.
Yeah.
It's really inspiring, I think. And it's also, it doesn't take energy.
That was what you were saying. Then I'm like, yeah, and it's just like so
It doesn't take energy.
easy. Like it's oh, that is like the great cosmic joke. Like all the stuff we're talking about is so much more fun. It's so much easier. It's like you're not
Yes.
using your head unless you really need to. And then
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh my God, we've made it so hard, which we need to again for the contrast of like, okay, I don't want to go back to sleep. So I'm going to stay on
Right.
the path and keep questioning stuff because I feel more and more free as I go down that path.
Yeah.
That feels really good.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of self perpetuating. I feel like once you get over certain humps, it's like, okay, I'm on the right path. This feels way better.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to stay in it until you get there. Because a lot of times you don't get that positive feedback. It all feels like all like esoteric and I don't understand it. It makes sense, but I don't understand it because I haven't experienced it. I mean, I was like that for fucking years. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like stuff started to finally click. I called in the right mentors. I called in the right experiences. And it was like I
Mm-hmm.
was getting really more discerning around that. But I did a bunch of shit that was just like, oh, that didn't work in the way that I thought it was going to, but it
Mm-hmm.
certainly worked in some way. Like
It worked in the way that it was supposed to at the moment, I guess, right?
exactly. And again,
Yeah.
like starting to let go of what the outcome's meant to be and just going in with full curiosity, maybe an intention, but even in medicine ceremonies, I generally don't have an intention because I don't know what I know what the mind wants,
Yeah.
but I actually don't, up until quite recently, I haven't known what like my soul, like what my body, like what the intuition wants. And so the intentions always seemed a little bit wonky for me. So I wouldn't generally have one, but it's very typical in, medicine ceremonies to go in with an intention.
Well, it's interesting because I told you we're really living parallel lives, but I feel like in some ways you're a bit ahead of me in things, right?
Mm,
So I've never done a medicine ceremony, and I'm afraid of it.
yeah,
I'm afraid of it, and that's a letting go.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I
It's
don't know why.
yeah.
I think it's an identity thing,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, it will get shattered.
Yeah, but if I'm afraid of it and I'm talking about it and I'm bringing it up, you know what that means, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's you're calling it in, and it's like
Yes.
what is it, Joseph Campbell?
Uh,
The treasure you seek is in the cave you fear the most.
yes.
So it's like
Yes.
you fear that because of loss and control. You actually recognize that. For you, that's what it means.
Yes.
For me, I was like, show me what I don't know. Like I don't care. Like I don't care about losing control because I have too much. There's too much. I don't want this anymore. So show me what I don't know about myself.
Yeah.
And it is scary in there because you're in a different reality. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's a lot because it means that this one's not the only one. That's my interpretation. And when you go deep into some of those experiences, you get completely lost in the fact that you're ever coming back. And so that's terrifying.
Mm.
Just to be honest with you, it is like, and you always come back.
Mm.
And when you come back, you're just like, I fucking made it back. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was in it deep that time. Like that one, I went to a different level and I didn't think I was coming back. I thought everything was fake and I was in a loop. And like, it's like, I'm not saying it's scary, but just to be real with you, like all this stuff comes up and the only thing you can do about it is surrender. And if you don't, that's fine too, because it just makes it more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But when you surrender, that's where like the growth and the nuggets come through. And you may not mine that gold for 6 months, a year, whatever. It's not
Mm-hmm.
immediate. You got to let it kind of grow, and and that integration is what it's all about. But the plant medicine ceremony, I just, for me, I would not have, I'm not having any of these I'm not anywhere near where I'm at today with my awareness if I didn't
Really?
do that. No, no, I mean, it
Wow.
wasn't the only thing. I'm very clear about that. I did a lot of
Yeah.
things, but
Yeah.
that catalyst, and I've done a number of them throughout the last 8 years. Um, And I don't say that like I've done about like I've been in that experience, and I just know how each has built on the other and moved me. And I've done it not in the right way at some times, and I learned from those experiences where they talk about the set and the setting, and I didn't have that right, and they were really challenging. And I had the set and setting right, and they were still challenging at times. And
Mm.
sometimes they were fucking magical. The whole time was super easy and fun and like wow. And so it's not always challenging, but it doesn't, it's classic. The medicine doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you need. And we don't
Mm.
know what we need generally. And so we go in with an intention of what we want. And the medicine says, thank you for, for that. But here's what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, wow, I really needed that.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's super powerful. And again, I'm not like, I feel, yeah, I feel very confident in saying that without yeah, without sitting with plant medicines, I don't know. I don't know where I would be with my. I think I would be fine. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be aware of the things that I'm aware of now, and have undone so much of the programming that I almost feel like I'm not run by it anymore. Even though it comes in, I'm not run by it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's where it's like the medicine work was really important, and the mentors and the integration and the other things,
Mm-hmm.
and the challenges, the financial challenges, the financial windfalls, all of that was part of it
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But the plant medicines, when done right with the right facilitation and going in as ready as you can be, going in because you're ready, not in the sense that like, okay, I'm good. Like you still be nervous. I'm nervous every time, but you're ready to take that step, even though you don't know what it's going to be, or like now's the time. Like that's the readiness.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, this won't be that bad. It's like, no, it's always going to feel like, fuck, am I ready to do
Wow.
this? And, whether it's ayahuasca and you drink the tea and it's like, hey, like, let's see what happens.
Wow. Fascinating. Thank you for sharing that with
Uh,
me. Yeah. I mean, these things all come into our life for a reason. And, I mean, I've experimented with things in college. It's not like I've done nothing, but I got nothing from that, right?
same,
Except for
same.
just like a wild, crazy night that we got to talk about.
Yeah.
But I've never done it in an environment where, like you're talking about, it's actually like an opening, when I can see, especially through this, like the difference in that. And we're all just trying to get out of ourselves to a certain degree, whether, even in this conversation or anything. So, yeah, it's amazing. I'm going to have to look into it
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
now.
All right. So where can people find you on social media, on, for
Yeah.
the courses and mastermind? What's the best way? And we'll have this in the show notes as well. But
Thespiritualinvestor.com. So that's like the programs and things like that. Instagram is just Elizabeth Ralph, just first and last name. And send me a DM. I love talking to people, and whether it's investing, anything, money. I mean, these conversations, like I say, I learned from these too. So,
yeah,
let's have the conversation.
love that. Well, thanks for being here. Welcome to Austin. If you're
Yes. Thank
leaving
you.
today and coming back, welcome back when you come back,
Thank
but
you.
enjoy your time here for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been
You're
great.
amazing.